I'm live. Good evening, everybody. Hi, I'm Raul Syed here from Noble Sky International. How's everyone doing on this fine Saturday evening? Hi. Since we've been out of circuit breaker, honestly, nothing much has changed for a lot of for myself in particular, because most of the time we've been at home just continuing on work. I had a privilege of celebrating my son's birthday yesterday, and we had a great time, honestly, and it was just within the family, just celebrating his birthday. I actually wanted to bring him on a nice trip to iFly to do skydiving, because at the age of 7 you can actually bring your kids for skydiving. So it's been a little bit of a family, what do you call it, a family, like a rite of passage for my kids, especially my nephew even. So they have to, by at 7 years old, go to do indoor skydiving in Singapore, anywhere. So they have to do skydiving, right? And they do I fly. So they had a good time. Every time my daughter, when she was 7, and she did several times. Well, she had about like 6 I fly under her belt by now. And she did, oh no, more, almost 8 of that. My nephew at about 5, 6. So they had a good time. And my boy was always looking at the sidelines whenever his sister and his cousin go into the tunnel, into the wind tunnel, right? And then had a good time. So he's always looking. He kept asking whether he can play, and sometimes he even cried. So it was quite interesting. So this year, unfortunately, because of COVID-19 and the circuit breaker, so iFly was closed and I couldn't bring him. But I told myself, the moment it reopened, I'm gonna bring him to iFly and let him try. Okay, and then by the time they're 12, I want to bring them to Perth or nearby in Australia, whereby they can do their first what do you call tandem skydiving, real one, but it's tandem. Because I believe in Australia the minimum age is 12. You have to be minimally 12 years old before you can do tandem skydiving. In the US, it's 18 or 16. It's a bit later, but in Australia, I believe very very much. I believe it is at least 12 years old. So if I'm correct, please correct me. Okay, I stand corrected. I hope it's still 12, so that at least by next year, in 2021, on my daughter's birthday, I'll probably be bringing them to Perth to do her first ever tandem skydiving. I don't care. She has to do it. Okay, and then it's like a rite of passage. I want them to go through it. It is a very good way of motivating, of boosting your confidence. Things when you do things like that push you, or it's like a bring you on the life edge. Things like skydiving, things like base jumping. Honestly, these are things that once you bring yourself to do it, you jump off the bridge, or you jump off anything, to like for bungee jumping, or do skydiving, you jump off the plane, things like that. You will come a point in time whereby you will realize life is not exactly that scary anymore. So that's why I want my kids to attempt all this in life. And when they attempt that, I would love to know that, okay, at least now I've taken that by the chains, and I'm ready to take on life as what it is, right? And they hopefully, okay, it will spur them further to succeed in their life. So that's why I intend to, like, from young, bring them to things like confidence building activities, high risk activities. Technically, they're very safe. Bungee jumping, skydiving, they're really safe. Otherwise, you will hear reports every day of people dying from this. You don't, right? In fact, riding in a car is even more dangerous than doing bungee jumping or skydiving. It's so safe. I don't believe their grandmother will agree with me, or their mother will agree with me. They probably will slap me now, but I believe it's very safe. So, yep, that's my rite of passage for my kids. How's everyone doing this evening? I am here, and I think it's been a while since I came on live. The last time I did on live was with my CEO, whereby we did a bit about, we cover we touch on topics away from investments and the sorts. So now I'm going to bring it back to where we always discuss on investing, and I hope I'm able to share a bit more value and more knowledge on what I humbly know. Okay, and I just want to share with you. So these are some of the information that I want to cover. The topic for today in particular is how to know if you're ready to invest. Okay, let me just put it up. And being clear on when you're ready to invest, okay, it is a good thing to know, honestly, whereby sometimes people are wondering, when do I start? When do I do this, right? When do you know you're really, really, really ready? I've covered this several times. I touched on this topic several times in my last few lives, but I will cover it on a bigger scale. But you will be surprised at how simple it is to know the answer in a short while. But before I go into that, let's just go into understanding a bit of the news. And I need to cover a bit about the news now because you will see a lot of spectacular news online and in the markets of what's happening, where people are saying, hey, the market has recovered, everything is great. You're looking at a major recovery in the S&P 500. In fact, yes, I truly believe that if this is good, this is really happening, that it's good for the economy, it's good for the market. Okay, so we want the economy to recover so that people will get their jobs back, people will find work, nobody will lose money, right? That's exactly what people are hoping for, right? So if you read on markets like this, you will see there you go. So it dropped like crazy in March, the peak, then it recovered nearing its peak. Now this point here, if you see, is actually, if you compare it to like 10 years ago, it is actually a high, still at a high, right? But this is when it was down in January 20. If we compare it like 2010, it is actually very, very high at this point. And now it's going back even further higher. It's going even higher, even almost higher. So people are wondering, is this true? What's really happening, right? So a lot of economists, a lot of experts are saying, hey, the economy is back. People are really starting to make money. The stimulus measures that the government has pumped has worked. Things like along the line. You read a lot of that. People are calling on that at this point in time. Let me just go to the next point. Asia Pacific markets have really jumped a lot. And if you read here, Australia has jumped 36.1% from March, right? Singapore 22.59%. Wow, it's crazy. So it's really jumped. So markets have already make a comeback. Okay, and all these gains are happening. And just a couple of weeks before, people are calling the doom and gloom of the world. Now it's like coming back. So what exactly are these economists thinking, right? Everyone is always saying, first you say it's bad, it's going to last for years. Depression is here, a Great Depression, whatever you call it, right? Now you're saying the market has come back. What exactly is going on? So it's very, very tough to make that call, that judgment call, right? So May in the US has seen biggest increase ever, 2.5 million jobs added into the economy. Okay, so recovering from the coronavirus. I urge you to do this. Read deeper into what you see. Try to dig deeper and research more. Don't just base your findings on the headlines. Don't ever do that. Okay. So and I was just talking to one of our investors just now. Okay, and he was saying that it is actually a lot of economists are saying, like Warren Buffett is saying, that things are going to be very, very bad and worse down the road, a couple of months' time. Why is it looking very good? Because Uncle Trump wants to win his second term in election, which I believe so. He, and as I said before in my other life, people are saying everything's going to go bad, but there is a wild card in the Federal Reserve, and this is election year. In election year, current president wants to win the election, and if they want to win election, they're running the government. They have the ability and the power to enact any form of legislation or stimulus measure, to allow the economy to recover, even if the recovery is fake in nature. It's not organic, it's not natural, it's very unnatural. It's just pumping money into the economy. So you're not exactly looking at a real recovery. Okay, if you watch this guy called Harry Dent, one of the best economists in the world. In fact, the Harry Dent has mentioned about not Harvey Dent from Batman. Harry Dent, Harry. Harry Dent he's a very good economist. Search on him. Check out on his videos on Google. He's already saying, okay, the market is on crack. Okay, when he say the market is on crack, it means that all these stimulus measures being pumped by the government, right, all these measures are just drugs, pumping all the banks, pumping the big companies, right? So they just on crack, just receiving this on crack, and then stock buybacks is happening. So it's not a real growth. It's not a real recovery. Check him out. You will realize he's saying a lot of sense. And he's saying in a couple of months, especially during the year, the whole thing will be in major depression. In fact, the world is already in a depression as we speak right now. Okay? So this jobless rate has dropped. Okay, stock market has gained more than 800 points. Nasdaq hits a record. Insane, right? Insane. Everything is happening like, wow, is the economy back on track? Everything, but I'm still losing my job. I don't have my money, right? I don't have my income. These things are not exactly doing very, very great in Singapore or around the world. So what's really happening? Coronavirus, V-shaped economic recovery is still perfectly possible, says former Goldman Sachs banker, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah. Former Goldman Sachs chief economist says that a V-shaped recovery, meaning, what do I mean by V-shaped recovery? When the economy drops, when the economy drops, it bounce back. It's V-shaped. Drop and bounce back is like a V, right? Instead of a U-shaped recovery. So if it's a V-shaped recovery, it's still possible. Then hey, I guess we are out of the woods, right? Everything's back to normal, I guess. So how do you believe? How do you know exactly what's really happening? If you watch George Cameron, if you watch George Cameron, if you watch Harry Dent, some other economists online, you will read and understand that people are some of these experts, they're actually very, very careful. Okay, some of them are very careful. They haven't predicted the recovery in the economy in the world yet. They feel that the world is still reeling and worse is yet to come. Okay, so let's look on the real estate front. Home buying set to take off in the summer. Okay, so home buying going to take off. So there's going to be a jump in home buying because of low housing supply, and high unemployment. Okay, might restrain the low housing supply, but so the high employment and low housing supply might restrain the rebound. But people are really saying that the home buying is going to take off very, very soon. So these are some of the data. Okay, the main reason being because of the mortgage rate. The mortgage rate is dropping lower and lower. As it drop lower, more people will want to choose to buy property because they can get a very low interest rate on their property. When that happens, the government anticipate and expect the home buying activity to rebound. Okay, and here comes the home buyers. These are just recently, June 4th, June 5th, just like a couple of days ago. Insane, crazy, right? Everything's really like, wow. So are we out of the woods? God knows. Okay, so that's one. That's about understanding that the economy of the world, people are already predicting it has already not predict are already saying it has recovered. So if it's recovered, what do we do then? Okay, my position hasn't changed. Honestly, as of now, I am still even more cautious. When people are greedy, you have to be fearful. Okay, as of now, I'm going to assume people are becoming greedier. So when people are becoming greedier, you have to be even more careful with your exit strategy, with your investment and your entry into the market. Okay, you got to be very, very, very careful. All right. Okay. So there are two schools of thoughts when it comes to how to know if you're ready to invest. Okay. The first school of thought on the left with the box right down there. Okay. First school of thoughts is very, very careful, very, very textbook. It is saying that you need to first make sure before you're ready to invest, you must have already cleared your high interest debts. Things like credit card, any revolving balance transfer or things like that, right? These are high interest debts that you're carrying. Clear them off first. Okay, clear that off. Second, you must have excess cash every month after expense. That's number two. Okay, after spending all expense, you have excess cash. This excess cash you put aside into a savings account. Okay, so at least your savings is set aside. You have 6 months worth of expenses. Okay, your expenses have at least minimum 6 months. You have set aside in savings. And then you're psychologically and mentally ready. You are like, okay, now I'm ready to invest. I'm prepared. Okay, I think I have all the makeup to be a great investor. I'm going to start investing and I'm ready. Let's go. Okay, and then you start educating yourself. Now, that's school of thought. School of thought number one. You know what people say? By the time you wait for all this to happen, battle over. Okay, the war is over, right? You can attempt to ensure that all this is done. You're very, very careful, very defensive, very I don't know. All right, but you just want to ensure that everything is perfect for you, and then you start to invest. Same like entrepreneurship. I need to know that this is ready, but you got to wait for that. You wait for that. You ensure this is. You have tick, 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 tick. All that is all done. Okay, I have all your checkbox tick. Then you start becoming an entrepreneur. Honestly, it won't happen. Okay, same for me. Honestly, in terms of investment, it's the same thing. Okay, by the time you wait for this to happen, you don't know what will happen down the road. You might face a job loss, so you don't have investment, right? And you don't have any income to invest, and then your time you're going to wait even further. And by the time you feel that you're ready, okay, you might be 50 years old by that. I don't know. Okay, so you got to see exactly your situation now, understand exactly what you're going through. Okay, follow the principles of financial management. Okay, follow that principle. The other school of thought, which I believe, this is my school of thought. Okay, but of course, please do your own homework. My school of thought is ASAP. All right, ASAP, but based on certain criteria in financial management. You must be able to manage your finance well. The first thing, this is what Robert Kiyosaki, man, I almost say Uncle Trump, not Uncle Trump. Robert Kiyosaki wrote his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant. Read his book. That's the very first thing you should do before you even start investing in anything. I covered this in my last life. Okay. Employee, self-employed, business owner, investor, ESBI. These are the 4 groups of people in the world. Okay. On the left side, the employee who has a job or self-employed who owns a job, they are 95% of the world's population, but they only control 5% of the world's wealth. On the right, business owner who owns a system to earn income, or investor who owns investment and earn him passive income. These are 5% of the world's population earning 95% of the world's wealth. Let me ask you honestly, in all common sense, do you think those people on the right side, they came to the right side because they waited for all this to happen first, then they achieved their wealth and income? Do you think that is what they did? Don't kid ourselves, all right? Okay, don't base our wanting to invest, wanting to be wealthy based on a couple of textbooks written by academics. Okay, I'm not going to say academics are bad, or professors or textbook. Don't. All right, follow what is really happening. Practitioners on the ground, people who have done it. Okay, people who have done it. Okay, business owner, investor, they do not wait for all these checklists to happen, then they start investing. Okay, they don't. Okay, they sometimes it takes a leap of faith, and sometimes it takes a bit of a gamble, calculated risk, understand what's going on, go. All right, and then you start making money in investments, okay, or business. So you have to learn to manage your finance. I've covered this several times. Use apps, use technology to manage finance. And the one thing that we need to do, the 6 jars, I've covered them several times in a couple of videos before. Okay, the most important account is a financial freedom account. Simple thing to take note. All your income that you have, just take note. Rule number 1, every income. If you earn 10,000 a month, I'm just putting 10,000, it's simple to understand. 10,000. If you're not investing at least minimally 1,000 or the 10,000, something is wrong with your finance. That's it. That's the baseline here, guys. The baseline here is that if I'm earning 5,000, I must minimally invest 500. Of course, not easy to invest 500, right? You might put that into an account first, save it up for several months, and then invest. That's the idea. Okay. But if you are not doing that, then something is wrong with your finance. If something is wrong with your finance, then you need to relook at whatever that you are earning and where is it going into to ensure that your income, okay, your income here that you're earning is going into the relevant jar or accounts. Okay, how you want to dictate the rest of the accounts up to you. The general rule of thumb, 55% into necessities, your expenses. The rest must go into investing yourself or paying off debts. The paying yourself, things like FFA, 10%. Long-term savings for spending, this can be set aside to repay debts, okay? Or to big-ticket item like a big screen TV, a large sofa or whatever. Education to invest in yourself. Necessities, expenses. Play for yourself, for your own leisure. And charity, so that you spiritually clean yourself, whatever money you earn, right? Your plans, okay? But most importantly, FFA must be set aside and you start investing that money. If you have not invest whatever 10% that you earn in income, something is not right. Okay, check that as soon as possible. Next, okay, we've covered this in a great length the last live, and I mentioned this in Robert Kiyosaki game called Cash Flow Quadrant. This is the income statement. We must get good at understanding what is an income statement and balance sheet. How does that work? Okay, how do they correlate? So the idea is to allow yourself to earn from passive income twice the amount, okay, of your expenses in passive income that you earn. Then you are financially free. Okay, All right. So I'm not going to go through it because it's not exactly knowing how do you know you're ready. My answer to you is ASAP. Make sure you're done. If you're financially managing yourself very, very well, then you're ready. Okay. Don't wait too long. You financially manage yourself. You learn something. If you're someone who's a low risk taker, invest through other people. I mean, with someone else, like a financial broker or financial advisor, the bank, I don't know, okay, or seek someone who can help you. You can talk to Noble Sky, we can also assist you. But if you're someone who has a higher risk appetite, okay, maybe you want to explore something that's higher risk for yourself, then go ahead, right? Okay, read up about it, understand how it works. As long as you know you financially manage yourself, you set aside a sum of money for investment. Okay, some people have different school of thoughts. They say that maybe investment you need to put more. You need to put more, 20%, 30%. I don't know. It's up to you. All right. So there are some rule of thumb about how much you should set aside. Some people, if you read on Seedly, Seedly, it's a very famous Singapore website, whereby they will tell you how many percent goes into expenses, how many percent goes to investment, how many percent goes into savings. Okay, they have a formula for that. Okay, you can read up on all this. Okay, there are different school of thoughts, different ways you can do so. All right, pick one, and whatever to your liking, go ahead and apply it. Okay, so in income statement, key in all income and expenses. You know exactly what you're spending on and what you're earning. Okay, use an app. An app is important that you understand what's going on. There's a lot of app. The free one that we have here that we know for fact is Wave Accounting. You are now understanding your personal net worth. You can use a free app like Wave Accounting. They give you everything for free. Okay, key in all your expenses, key in all your income in that app for yourself. Then you know how much your personal wealth. Okay, figure out expenses you can reduce. Whatever expense you can reduce them. If you don't need to take on the highest plan with StarHub or your telco, you don't need. You can save about $80 a month. Do it. If you can save money on buying Starbucks unnecessarily, do it. All right. Okay. Save money about $200-300 a month. Set aside all this money into the investment account, FFA. That's what you should do. Figure out all these expenses you can reduce. Okay. Maximum 55% of total income. That's what you should target. All right. Pay off the high interest debt. These things are killing you, guys. These things are killing you. While you are investing, pay off your high interest debt. Sometimes people wonder, should I pay off first, then invest later? It's up to you. Okay. If you're a lower risk taker, okay, you don't want to invest so early, pay it off first. If you don't mind, you have a higher risk appetite, go and do both. Okay. Like I said, pay off a high interest debt. Things like setting aside 10% of your income into paying off your loan, paying off your credit card. That you should set aside at least 10%. Okay. Pay for necessities or long-term savings. It's up to you. Invest your financial freedom account at 10%. Invest in that. Okay. If you're in a good position financially, your income, all right, okay, that you earn, your expenses, your necessities only 30%. Then please don't figure out how do I increase my necessities to 55. Don't. Okay. That 25% that you save, split it into the other accounts. Please do that. Don't unnecessarily increase your necessities just because you can. Okay, you don't do that. Right? If your necessities is too high, it's too high, it's 110%. Then how? Right? I did. In my workshop that I trained a lot of people before, some of them came to me and told me my necessities is 110%. How do I invest? Where do I start? Well, it's a good question. First thing you can do, every single cent that you have, that you spend and you earn, as I said, track it, manage it, put it into an app. Everything, every single cent, guys, every single rupiah, ringgit, sen, whatever. Track it. Track, TRACK. Track every single thing that you're spending on. That's the first step. If you cannot do that, you cannot do anything. Okay, that's why I say, if it's so hard for you to do that, then you're hoping for a magic pill to have or something magical to happen to correct your finances. You cannot. You have to take action by yourself. Track it. Every single cent. Track it. Minimally 6 months. Track it for 6 months. Then you see exactly where your money is going into. Once you know where your money is being spent on, all right, and then you can start managing it, all right, reducing what you need to reduce, and then probably split it into where it needs to be split. If you cannot manage your expenses, you cannot invest. It's as simple as that. I got this from one of my guru for trading last time, Conrad. He said, if you cannot manage finance, don't invest, don't trade. Get out of this class, don't bother. Okay, you cannot, you're just not ready. Okay, and then ensure to allow your passive income to earn twice the total expense. That's what you should do. Okay, twice your total expense, and then in the game you're technically out of the rat race. Okay, you're out of the rat race, you're into the fast track. I'm not going to go into the game now. Right, but it is a good benchmark. Twice your expenses is your passive income that you should earn. Okay, so that's what you should do. So what are some of the passive income things that you can earn passively? Okay, one of the things that you can do is, okay, probably next slide. Let me show you. There you go. This is my own financial freedom breakdown of what I intend to do for my own portfolio. Okay, so I split it into 5 different categories. Number one, opportunistic. These are very, very high risk opportunistic breakdown. So this is my entire FFA. Okay, all right. So I won't put 10% into Bitcoin. Very high risk activity. You don't know exactly what. I won't even bother about the value or what exactly it is in terms of how much it costs for per Bitcoin. Just buy it. Okay, at that 10% that I have. Then core one. All right. This is the safer investment that I can put for myself. Core one will be things like, let's make this thing bigger. Okay. Core one is dividend stocks. These are buying assets that pay you. You need to buy something that pays you. It must pay you for holding on to the asset. All right. Things like dividend stocks. That's core number one. Okay. 15%. Core number two, income real estate. Why do I put as core number two? It is because it is my expertise, my own domain, and I am very confident about that. And I love income real estate. A lot of investors love income real estate. That's my core two. I'm putting at least 40%, okay, into income real estate. That gives me a rent. That gives me all kinds of income. Okay, and real estate. The good thing about real estate is it appreciates in value and it also depreciates when I file taxes. Depreciate is the paper loss, but it's not a physical loss. Actual loss is a paper loss. The IRS in the US will write off depreciation for my tax, so it reduces my taxable income. That's the good thing about income real estate. There's also leverage, and you can earn income. That's why investment in real estate is one of the best form of investment in the world. Then 20% in the green one, okay, is higher real estate flip. Sorry, value-added activity, value-added investment like real estate flipping. So these are activities that I find a bit opportunistic in nature, but not so opportunistic like Bitcoin, where there's a lot of high risk and volatility. But real estate flip is being able to find properties that are way undervalued, and whenever I invest, okay, it adds value almost instantly into my portfolio. So that's flipping. And the lastly is hedging gold. Now, a word about gold. A lot of people are saying gold is one of the best form of investment in the world. Well, in different school, though, you watch Harry Dent, he's not exactly a big fan of gold. You watch Mike Maloney, he's a gold bug, right? So many different investors around the world. You have to balance your whatever you learn from all school of thoughts. You have to know, if I were to invest in gold, gold loves inflation. When inflation hits the highest, okay, gold is gold commensurate with inflation, but gold hates deflation. When things are dropping in value, gold hates deflation. Right? Okay, they don't like deflation. This is according to Harry Dent. Check out his video with this guy called Jason Hartman, one of the real estate guru that I'm learning from. Jason Hartman, one of the best in the world. Okay, in US real estate. So he's talking about investing in gold, but you got to understand when is the good time to invest in gold. And Harry Dent covers that perfectly. Okay, so the only thing about gold, it is a good physical commodity for you to own because it goes especially in line with inflation. The only problem with gold, it does not give me income. It doesn't. Okay, and that's the main issue that people have with gold. I buy gold now, all right, but it doesn't earn me anything. I got to wait until some point in time whereby I hope that it goes up. I sell it, then I can buy something if I want to, or I just hold it for a long time. For how long, I don't know. Okay, just hold it for as long as you can, I guess, to protect all your other investments. Okay, because it's a good hedge against inflation. Okay, so that's the main thing that I have. So this is just a good idea about how I'm putting my own portfolio. So back to the main topic for today. When exactly do we know we are ready? It is never a question of like checking whatever's on the checklist. Okay, ticking off the box on the checklist. That's never, I feel, the best approach. If you want to do that, the textbook method, by all means, don't stop yourself from doing so. Okay, just understand that the world don't wait for you. The world time and tide waits for no man. Right? And if it doesn't wait for you, opportunity cost, you might be leaving money off the table, for all you know. And if you wait for all that to be taken, you're you're a really textbook person. You're wanting to follow bit by bit exactly what is being advised to you by, probably, I think, like academics, right? People who writes all these articles. But I would say the very best time for you to start investing is as soon as possible. The first thing you should do always, okay, is to ensure that you go and make sure you manage your finance well first before you intend to invest. Manage it well. If you manage and you look at your finances, you don't see them being well managed, okay, then take a pause, manage that first, and then you start investing later on. Don't wait too long. All right. Okay. Don't wait too long until everything's ready, then you invest. By the time, as I said to a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my friends, by the time the war is over. So you don't wait until the war is over. All right, guys. So this is very good. Okay, I think it's very nice of me. So thank you so much for commenting, and I appreciate it. I love to look. I look forward to do more such videos and live in the future, and let's hope that we will see some um, good movement in the market for us to probably find something we can invest. I am in the midst of positioning some of our investors to acquire some properties in the US, and that's happening as we speak. And I'm getting people on the ground to take some videos, and we would like to share that with the people in this group. Okay, so we'll show you exactly what the actions really is on the ground. All right, guys. So other than that, I hope you all have a good night. It's 10 plus p.m. now, and have a good evening. Have a great weekend. And I know some of my Malay friends, you are doing some Hari Raya visiting your old folks. Please make sure you follow the law. Okay, don't violate the law, guys, and be very careful. Stay safe. And other than that, good night. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a great evening. Bye bye.